whether you think that censorship is important.
No, it's not important at all, I feel. And see, I- no, I'll sort of correct myself. Looking at mainstream media right now, I do feel that some kind of a check is required. The kind of bile and the vitriolic that is being spited out on, primetime television in every house right now, it needs to be checked. But so it's like a double whammy, right? How do you, because we've always said no censorship in films, but today we are saying no. When you have channels like Sudarshan channel or Republic TV or things like that, of who are actually warmongering right now and creating, they are behaving like what Radio Rwanda did in the mid 90s in Rwanda. So how do you tackle those things? I'm not really sure. But in terms of this film, I haven't had too many issues. um, we preempted the issues. We preempted the Animal Welfare Board of India and all that, and sort of we worked through with NDMC and a lot of sort of the proper channels, because this is a government job and this is a very sensitive kind of topic in Delhi, and a lot of government authorities are involved. So we kind of worked through those channels and sort of made sure things were in place.
The censorship has connected with government, where the concerned person will be connected with the government, and he want to control the ideas, the way of expressions through censorships. Yeah, I'm just asking whether the censorship is important to this film and OTT platforms.
See, again, I disagree slightly that censorship is always connected with the government. Yes, mostly, but mostly it's connected with a moral code that a society expects, especially when it's to do with sexuality, when it's to do with religion, when it's to do with the military. It's also a moral code that the society thrives on. And they sort of, the government becomes any conservative populist government will become a mouthpiece for that kind of a sensibility, rather than saying that this is exactly what we need to. Any mature society needs to discuss the taboos. Here we do not do that. And that, I think governments have taken advantage of that, and used it for their political petty gains. And all governments have done that. This government is particularly bad. And it's just a regressive structural mechanism that all conservative governments put in place. They make authorities less autonomous, they have more central control, and hence, all these mechanisms sort of fall in line because they are being controlled from the top. I feel, see, as a filmmaker, I will always say there should be no censorship. It is not even a question to be sort of discussed. As an artist, I will always say no censorship. Let it be out there, let the people decide. But this is what has been used by the mainstream media to create all this, the communal uh, biases, the prejudices, this jihad, that jihad, what not jihad, whatever they're doing is a direct outcome of that. So it's a strange times where we all have to sit down and discuss what we really mean, because a lot of these words have actually lost their meanings because they were made for something else, but they've been hollowed out, and that the word only remains, the meaning doesn't remain anymore. So I think those kind of conversations we need to have.
Okay, whether I want to ask, I've read the article. The interview have said that I'm also a migrant from Bihar. My father got settled into Delhi, so that's why you kept the protagonist as a migrant, or in usually in Delhi, all the monkey repellers are mostly migrants, or within Delhi also people are working that kind of thing. Whether
See,
the
when I
story
say,
demands it, or you want to personally connect it to it.
personally connect with, because I understand that world better. A sort of a migrant family, Bihari family in Delhi. I understand that universe better. Those nuances, because. But when I say I'm also a migrant, I do not mean to say I'm a migrant like Anjani.
No,
My
no, I
father
didn't say
worked in
that. Yeah.
government service.
Okay.
It was a very middle class
So I just
existence, and
want to make sure that whether all the monkey repellers are only migrants, or within Delhi also there are monkey repellers. I just want to ask.
Delhi is a migrant city. Nobody
Yeah.
is from Delhi.
Yeah. Yeah.
you know so a lot of people from eastern UP and recently Bihar have been doing. um, So I can't say कि Delhi people do it. Some of them have been in Delhi for 2 generations, 3 generations. Some are first generation migrant. So it's like a mixture.
So about the climax, the last image of the thing was very disturbing to me, and the music and everything adds up in it. That images were in the climax. That images were very disturbing to me. So how did you plan to get this end point? Because it will be very struggling when in the writing process. The writing process is really endless. And the opening ending, the open ending you're given, you might have the insecurity whether people will get the idea, will get these things. You might have this insecurity, right? Where did you fix this? This is how I'm going to end this film, whether in a writing process or in the shooting or in the post production. Where did you fix with this? This is the image I want to end this film. Where did you?
Uh, See, in a sense, before the short division, also we sort of thought, where how do we end this film, right? And there's this always this question of, um, do we end the film where the story ends, or do we end the film where the journey of our main character ends, or do we have a epilogue after that? You know, so I wanted to have a world where it was easy to say Anjani is going mad, but we wanted to end the film on a place where to say the world around him is going mad. So his madness is not him, but the world around him. For that kind of, we just in our mind had a thing where, okay, if people with painted faces are dancing all around him and he's smiling. Now this was an image, but how do we get an image like that? So we were constantly looking at what is all is happening in the city. That was an inherent part of filming this film. What is happening in Delhi these days? Because we wanted to have that flavor of the city into the film. And to then go into this, so we figured out on this Mahashivratri kind of procession. It's very interesting how these processions work. No? They start off with mythology, and then there's free food, then there's national kind of icons, and there's a very Hindu gods are there, and they mix them up with a national kind of image. So all these kind of things became like a perfect ground to have an end sequence with. This flamboyance and this madness, because we didn't want to have a quiet ending, yoho, where you say we feel bad for a protagonist. We wanted to say that it has to end in a place where this man can get dangerous. When you push a person so much, he will or she will get dangerous. And he's been such an endearing character throughout the film. Suddenly you are unnerved, saying, I do not know where he will head on to next. Has he become a part of the mob? Is he going in for revenge? What is it? And that unnervingness comes from an open ending, comes from that ambiguity of what really happened. We've seen, because the lens for viewing that scene is the entire film till then. And then you have this chaotic end, which has some kind of an order. It's not just random thing. There's an order to it. There's a progression to it, and a certain kind of music to it. So that what universe can that create? What state of mind can that create? Is something as filmmakers we're always trying to explore. Of of having an ending which is more to do with feeling than meaning.
This film is about Mahinder. He was a spark, right? And he is a real monkey repeller. And if you wanted to make, you mentioned in one article that when you got this idea, you want to do this as a documentary or mockumentary style. You might have done with Mahinder, but you want to make it as a film. What is the difference between, I mean, the documentary? If you want to do the documentary, you might have done with Mahinder, but you want to make it as a film. It is processing as a film when the trained actors or a theater actor come to it. So, what is the difference? What is the thin line between the documentary and also filmmaking? It is a real thing which is happening. Delhi, you have a real character which is doing that, but you want to make it as a film with a trained actor.
See, the thing is, it's not just saying ki let's make a fiction or a documentary. By fiction film, when I meant a universe that we wanted to work with, where there's a sister, there's a brother-in-law, there's a migrant person. You know, Mahinder's story is very vast. For that lens is something I don't think so we are equipped to do. because that'll be a very, very different film. I wanted to have a film which spoke about migration, which spoke about job insecurity, which spoke about of by how we are robbing our citizens of a future by robbing them of any kind of security. And so that wasn't just about the monkeys. Was the world around us, a world where which is becoming hard to make sense of, where we are arresting our students, we are arresting lawyers, we are arresting poets. So that is the universe I wanted to talk about, and not just this job. There are enough odd jobs in the world.
I just want to ask whether this story is about the core point is about the real thing about the monkey repeller, and you would added up the few dramas, how the family and the about the nurse, and between a thin layer of love and everything. So you added up everything. I'm just asking that whether you have want to spice it up or exaggerated few things which is happening to the monkey repeller rather than reality for the film.
It as a film about monkey repellers. I saw it a film about a migrant who comes to Delhi
Okay.
and gets this job. You know, and for me, the security guard's job is as important as this monkey repeller, or the sister's job is as important. And of course, we've taken a lot of liberties. It's not a depiction of the real things that happen in monkey repellers' jobs. These situations are based on their experiences. It's based on our discussions with a lot of people who worked in these areas and worked in these jobs. But I will not never claim that this is a very real account of what monkey repellers life is. It's true to the experience of what the experience of a contractual job is, what the experience of having no agency is, what the experience of having not having a passbook and control over your bank account is, or those kind of things.
How Anurag Kashyap came into this project because he presented this.
How
How Anurag Kashyap came into this project.
uh, so Anurag is, I think, involved with the Pingyao International Film Festival in China,
Okay.
along with Marco Mueller, Deepthi, these people. So he had known for about the film since then. Post Mami, he saw the film and he was very sort of supportive of the film. And he asked us that if we would like him to do anything or be. He asked us how he could help in the film, promoting the film and putting it out. So he'll put his name as a presenter to the film.
Okay. So the opening of the film will start with the music, and the end of the film will end with also with music. So music plays a vital role in this movie. I mean, in this movie, things whenever he got disturbed by these things, a particular music a track will be playing. So how much importance you gave for the soundtrack and also for the background musics and everything? How you worked on
Um,
it?
See, like I said, a lot of our stress went into the sound design of this film first, recording and designing the soundscape of the film, because we wanted to have a very real soundscape, but also a very psychological soundscape for the film. And so the choice of the music was something we were talking about, and that's why the choice of an instrument like the didgeridoo, you know the didge, which is not a very melodic instrument,
Okay.
but it has almost to do with vibrations and these sort of cyclical breathing and all kinds of things. So that is why we chose an instrument like that to create the base of the music track, because we felt that it would give an expression to Anjani's mindset rather than an explanation. It sort of creates a certain kind of ambiguous mind state, which is difficult to pinpoint of whether it's happy or sad or conflicted or whatever.
Whether e-ballet was made in the editing table, where like you have spent 1 year for the post production and you have shotted separately the monkey shirt and also these things. You have to collage everything and make it as a sandwich as a film. It's a whole process which is happen in the editing, right?
Not really.
Not really.
A lot of it, but we've shot a lot of sequences together with the monkeys and this thing.
Okay.
It's not always shot separately.
Okay. It's a mixed
But yeah,
both.
editing becomes a very crucial process because everything has to come together. and it has to come together. So when a lot of times we say the script is very tight, we are also actually complimenting the edit, because we a lot of things have been taken out which weren't working, and how things will come together, and what is the pace and what is the rhythm of the whole thing. So I think it's difficult to differentiate what was scripting, what was the editing, which was shooting. But yes, one without the other will never ever work. It is uh, editing can only work when the footage has been shot in a certain way, when there's certain lensing in place, when there's performances in place, when there are enough shots. Then only edit can work. And when edit works, then only we see, okay, this is the script, and this is the camera work, and this is the sound person, and music can come in where it has to come in. So it's such a cohesive process that in a film like this, it's difficult to say what happened in the sound mix, what happened in the edit, and what happened in the shooting of the film.
So when I see a team, everybody is from FTIA or and also they are from a background of documentary. Everybody, even Subham, even the editor, you are saying everybody has done the documentary. So how it helped in this film, because they are from documentary thing, and you have done the shooting for 50 days, and it took post production for 1 year to make this film. So how it helped the team of yours, how it helped the film, what are the backgrounds they're coming from, because you have used trained actors from FTII, and also you have the casting was with the natural actors and also with the trained actors. So how you managed?
See, the main help was that because of the documentary experience, nobody is very flustered about if something doesn't go right. We're all okay with things not being under our control. you know but at the same time, the stress on a design of how do we craft this reality. We are all okay with negotiating with the real elements where we do not get thrown off. It's like, because Bigya has recorded documentary sound, he was he was confident that we can pull off sync sound recording in this film. And because so much shot, so much documentary and fiction, he was confident that we can figure out a consistent lensing for the film without making it patchy or things like that. My experience in the documentary helped me to say it's okay, it'll take time, things will fall in place. But most essentially, that we were okay to discover the film rather than trying to execute a film. That was the biggest kind of uh, help.
So you took a 50 days of shoot, right? So you have used trained actors, and you said that you had rehearsals also. How was that rehearsal part was going?
Rehearsal used to happen when mostly prior to the shoot, say one day before or something like that, or on the day of the shoot before we started actually filming. Uh, so we just wanted to explore a lot of things because the shooting was happening in real locations. Sometimes we will not have the luxury of doing too many takes. Sometimes we won't have the luxury of exploring too much on set. So all that used to happen earlier.
So the duration of the film is 97 minutes. In usually in film festivals, they'll not give that 3-digit number duration, because the audience will not come inside and sit for that. They might have these kind of short issues and all. So it was planned whether the movie is like 97 minutes, or have different version of the film. Even if you're doing it on that OTT or
See,
theater.
there's no different version, but I do not think there's this thing of three figures or anything. I don't. Matlab, I'm at a. I'm watching a lot of films for one of the festivals right now, and they're all kinds, 70 minutes to 150 minutes to even more. So we see the script has to hold for whatever duration it can. It could be my documentary is 72 minutes. It's also how much do you want to push it. Can We've had different versions of this film. No, the first edit was 3 hours, then 2.5 hours, then 2 hour 20 minutes, then 2 hour 10 minutes. It's not just about the length, it's about how things are coming together. Yeah, I wanted to have a 90-minute film basically. It didn't happen.
So I saw the title card. We have a Hindi title in English and also in Urdu. Why you mentioned it in Urdu? I just want to know.
Yeah, just Why, in the sense, it's something that is part of our world. It's part of our cinema history, and I think I would rather have it.
So, what is the cost of the film? Because yeah, the producer and also you made this film with your entire team. You are with the college and everything. What is the cost of the film? How you raise the fund and everything, production cost and everything.
See, cost of the film is a lot of blood and sweat. That is the real cost of the film. But yeah, Shwetab raised the main money. He's put in his own money. I put in my own money. Lots of people have worked with very little money, and lots of people have pitched in and are still pitching in. So I wouldn't want to discuss the cost and all that, because it's a strange thing here. How do you put value to somebody's hard work who has worked because you're a friend, or because they believed in the film? um, but whatever the cost is, we are confident that we'll recover the money, and we are actually make a profit over it also.
So, in particular scene where he get that catapult and use it, and he'll get that monkey to the hospital, to the office to for the X-ray and all. Did you use the real monkey? How do you made that shot? Because that scene was very connected, and that monkey was very the face and everything, the expression that monkey gave. How you made that scene?
Lots of hate and trial. Yeah, it's difficult to say what exactly. Sometimes we were shooting the monkeys before and taking the counter shot accordingly. But we knew what we wanted to have, like a long struggle with the monkey, and then he will be violent towards the monkey. This is the trajectory. Then we'd spoken to the vet hospital, so that scene of the x-ray and all is being done by a doctor itself. So we'd ask them what the procedure is and how do they go about it, and what is the workflow of when a monkey is injured, what happens later on. So they sort of explained it to us, and keeping in mind all these things, we had built up that situation of, first of all, Anjani getting very irritated, frustrated, him being violent, then realizing that he cannot be violent, and trying to sort of say, okay, this accident happened, and then accident happened, and then Mahinder scolding him, and parallelly the brother-in-law getting the gun.
Yeah,
So
that is what
that
I wanted to ask. Cut to that, he'll give the rifle and he want to get rid of that rifle. You how you plan to place it like this when you wrote the script? Because you given the
pretty much.
weapon in particular scene where Mahinder says that why they give weapon, because they just for show you should not use. And also cut to that the brother-in-law he says that I don't want to keep the rifle. No, you have to keep it or else I cut the increment. So everything was layered, very layered and subtle way. So how you do this in a writing process?
So that's the thing, that the idea of this whole violence is something which is very disturbing, and especially association of guns with the hyper masculinity of our characters in cinema, especially. We wanted to sort of invert it, saying our characters are scared of the gun. They don't want the gun. And how do we, because it seems it will disturb their family unit, and it does. So that's why that long elaborate sequence of him traveling back with the gun, and whatever happens with the gun, so gun becomes such an important thing. It's, for me, it's never a sidetrack. It's very much the anchor.
Fine. Okay. So, do you think that this kind of film, which discuss the political social issues, with might change the real society, or any they might have any changes in the society when we
No,
discuss? No.
I think films don't do that. Films can contribute to that, but those things are needed by a larger on the ground people's movements, alliances, and workers' movements, and students' movements, and a lot of civil rights movements. Films can contribute, but within themselves, they will not do anything.
So the Monkey Repeller job is still going on.
Yeah.
So I just want to know how this film festival works, and this is very that thing is very vast and wider thing. When you go to the film festival and you have connected with the film festival, you've gone to the many film festivals. So how the film festival works, how you approach them, how you pitch them.
I think once you have the film ready, then you sort of try and reach out to the programmers and reach out to other filmmakers who would then suggest, like we went through the Film Bazaar way, where the film was in the work in progress lab at the Film Bazaar, and there was a lot of interest in the film since then. So technically, a lot of invitations had started coming in already. But the best way is, I think, just to meet people, attend festivals, and see who are the people. There's no, what we've realized is that every few years, managing committees of festivals change. So there's no one taste of a film festival or one way of going about it. It's also sometimes we tend to overanalyze. Okay, this festival, that festival, this over that festival. No, yani jana, hai, that is a bigger festival. I don't know. People have their own kind of calculations about that, and again, no set standards. It's just about trying to know what is happening around us, what are the festivals going on, what are the timelines, and I think we should approach a festival only when we are confident that the film is there. Sometimes we tend to approach festivals too soon, before the films are getting complete, saying, okay, this is my work in progress and this and that. But I feel we should approach them once we are confident of the film.
So, as an independent filmmaker, might short of money and everything when we approach the film festival, how do you manage those things? Because you mentioned that I have done this film. The cost is like blood and sweats. The cost of the film is blood and sweat. Again, when you go to the film festivals and everything, again you have to give the money and everything. How do you manage all these things?
You can just tell them that you don't have the money and you want a waiver. You, see, there's no other way. When you don't have the money, either you can say, okay, I won't apply, or you can tell them that I need to apply, I cannot pay you money. Something will work out.
Poster design was very minimalistic and very catchy. The poster design, how it made it.
Again, hit and trial with Shubham. Shubham's the one who's designed it.
Okay.
And see, again, we didn't want to have an illustration. We just wanted to have a feeling of what this is going to be. And treating the poster design as something which can just create an interest, an intrigue of what can be there. Because anyways, the problem with a film is the name. Nobody gets the name. They think, okay, what language is it? What is this one? So we didn't. So the name is prominent, and then you just create some play with the visual design, and that bottom entry and the top entry, and that sort of creates humor.
Thanks for the session.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
All the best.
Yeah. Thank you.